He was born in 1881 in the city of Thessaloniki in the north of present-day Greece, which was part of the Ottoman Empire at that time. In a middle-class family, his parents named him Mustafa, and later the school teacher gave him the nickname Kemal. His father, Ali Rza, was an employee of the Ottoman government and was born in the city of Thessaloniki in modern Greece. Mustafa's mother, Zubide, was from a farming community in the west of Thessaloniki. The ideological and religious differences of Mustafa's parents had a great influence on his faith. He first entered a religious school, then left there and entered a public school. After completing his preliminary education, he entered the Harbiye School or War College and then entered the Staff College and graduated as a distinguished student and a staff captain. At first, he entered the Ottoman army and fought with the Italians in Tripoli, in Libya. In the first decade of the 20th century, Atatürk, together with a group of Turkish officers who were called the Young Turks, established the foundations of reforms in the army and the government in favor of Turkish nationalism. He reached the commanding post in the Balkan Wars and in 1916 he resisted the British in the Dardanelles and Gallipoli Peninsula and prevented them from occupying Istanbul in the First World War. He then fought on the Russian front. The Ottoman defeat in the First World War led to the occupation of territories of the empire by the Allies. Finally, the victorious forces divided the Ottoman territory in the Middle East among themselves. However, the revolt of Anatolian Turkish speakers against the occupation by the Allies in Turkish War of Independence led to the establishment of the Republic of Turkey and finally the extinction of the Ottoman Empire, and Atatürk led the War of Independence. Atatürk was described by his allies and the famous Istanbul nationalist journalist Ali Kemal as a thief boss, in which Lord Balfour called him the most terrible of all terrible Turks. French and English were expelled from Anatolia and Thrace, Turkey. After the victory, the political religious ruling institutions of the old empire were abolished by the Turkish nationalist government to give way to the new republic. Atatürk's basic principle was the complete independence of the country. He clarified his position. Of course, complete independence means complete economic, financial, judicial, military, cultural independence and freedom in all matters. The deprivation of independence in any of these is equal to the deprivation of the independence of the nation and the country. He led extensive reforms in social, cultural and economic aspects and created the backbone of the new republic of legal, judicial and economic structures. Although he was later idealized by some as the originator of sweeping reforms, many of his reformist ideas were already prevalent in Ottoman intellectual circles at the beginning of the 20th century and became more pronounced after the Young Turk Revolution. Atatürk became famous for his role in securing victory for Ottoman Turkey at the Battle of Gallipoli in 1915 during the First World War. Following the overthrow of the Ottoman Empire, he led the Turkish national movement, which opposed the partition of Turkey among the conquering Allied powers. Atatürk's role in the aftermath of this event, while he was not directly involved in it, has been controversial. Forming a provisional government in Ankara, the current capital of Turkey, he defeated the Allied expeditionary force and thus forming a provisional government in Ankara, the current capital of Turkey, he defeated the Allied expeditionary force and thus won what would later be called the Turkish War of Independence. He then proceeded to dissolve the weak Ottoman Empire and publicly proclaimed the Republic of Turkey in its place. As the president of the newly established Republic of Turkey, Atatürk initiated a comprehensive program of political, economic, and cultural reforms with the ultimate goal of building a modern, progressive, and secular nation-state. He made primary education free and compulsory and opened thousands of new schools across the country. He also introduced the Latin-based Turkish alphabet, which replaced the old Ottoman Turkish alphabet. Turkish women enjoyed equal civil and political rights during Atatürk's presidency. In particular, women were given full universal suffrage in local elections with Law No. 1580 on 3rd April in 1930 and a few years later in 1934. Atatürk's government adopted the policy of living, which was trying to create assimilation. It means a united nation and, most importantly, a secular nation under the Turkish flag. Under Atatürk's leadership, minorities in Turkey were pressured or forced to speak Turkish in public, but were allowed to use their own language. Non-Turkish surnames were changed and minorities were ordered to take Turkish surnames. Atatürk, that was a meaning of father of the Turks, was given to him by the Turkish parliament. Among the important works of Atatürk was the fight against the clergy. He also suppressed the nomads, but it didn't take long that Atatürk's heartfelt belief in the necessity of modernization caused the anger of the Turkish clerics, and the anger of the clerics caused protests in some parts of Turkey. Among them, it's possible to mention the uprising of Sheikh Said in 1925, whose contradiction with Islam attacked Diyarbakir. Also among his other actions, we can mention promoting Turkish nationalism, separating religion from politics, legalizing the right of women to vote, and changing the Arabic script of the Turkish language to the Latin script. In 1934, according to Atatürk's decree, the use of nicknames and titles of praise such as Hazrat, Mullah, Haji, Sayyid, Effendi, and Cenab was banned in Turkish government. In Atatürk's order to the youth of Turkey, it stated this sentence: "We, the national forces, established this republic. Its survival and development is with you." One of Atatürk's most important and effective measures was to end the fight between Muslims and Christians. Kemal Atatürk died on 10th November 1938 at the age of 57. The cause of his death was liver disease. The clock in the room where he died shows the time of his death, 9:05. His tomb, known as Anıt Kabir, is located in the city of Ankara. Every year at 9 and 10th November, a minute of silence is held to mark the death of the founder of modern Turkey, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, followed by the ringing of school bells and school sirens. It will be held at 9 hours 6 minutes, the moment of his death.